Alright, so 2021 into 2022 has been a really rough year overall for multiplayer first-person shooters. I was absolutely looking forwards to Battlefield 2042 last November, and yeah, suffice to say, that game absolutely failed to deliver. So what are we left with outside of COD, which I haven't really been deep into since the old Modern Warfare 2 days? Instead, I've been taking a good long look at some of the smaller FPS titles, you know, those games that don't get as much PR as the other AAA titles, and again, I find myself jumping back into the universe of World War III. My name is LtBuzzLitebeer, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see, maybe consider hitting that big, beautiful subscribe button, and if you really like what you see, maybe also consider ringing the notifications bell to receive all my latest upload alerts. First off, and from me to you, I wanted to personally thank you all, as the channel has been seeing some incredible growth, mostly centered around my daily coverage of Battlefield 2042, and with that growth, I have seen a serious uptick in my comments received. Now, I've been reading them all over, and I really do take those comments into consideration, and what I am seeing is that everyone, me included, is getting really burned out on daily 2042 videos. And I personally don't like residing in that dark spot of posting negative information about a game just day after day. So at this point, you can tell that that game didn't do well. We were told that the game was something different than it was at launch, and yeah, I'm not going there today. Anyways, thanks for your positive feedback and suggestions, and so today I'm taking another look at what some are calling the Battlefield killer, World War III. Now, I've been keeping one eye on this FPS since, I want to say 2017, when I saw some sort of little press release about it. It then launched in 2018, and honestly, it didn't do so well. The Farm 51 then paired up with My Games, and what we have now is this retooled, revamped, and visually much more appealing FPS package that we now get to experience. I'm going to be giving you a bit more breakdown of some of the highs and lows that I have seen so far, along with my honest impressions throughout this video, but overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing. There's still some wonky animations that just look completely unnatural, like throwing grenades, but from what I saw on the previous version of the game up to now, the devs have done a ton of work on this game to make it competitive and a crowded and talented FPS lineup. Over the past, I want to say 4 to 6 months, I've seen the Farm 51 put their game through a series of tests, including a Veterans Alpha test, a closed beta, and just announced an open public stress test starting yesterday, February 3rd, and ending on February 7th. Now, they really seem to want to put out a product that can not only survive, but flourish in that crowded FPS market, with constant updates and server infrastructure changes just so they can gather data. Now, some of the particulars of World War III. It is self-labeled as a tactical online multiplayer FPS where the world is your battleground. And at this point, I've logged a scooch over 30 hours, and if I were trying to describe it to someone in 5 seconds or less, I would say, think tight Battlefield-esque close-quarter squad gameplay, all with armor support mixed with COD kill streaks, and the best damn customization system currently available on the market. Alright, so maybe that's more than 5 seconds, but that really does sum up World War III. And probably what I've enjoyed most about this title is that tight squad gameplay. Now, there's some pre-built class structure in the game, but you have full ability to freelance and make a custom setup. There's also a soldier weight limiter, so you can't just pile on the heaviest and hardest hitting weapons and still move around like a speed freak. A typical loadout would be your primary, like a hard-hitting AR or marksman rifle, a small sidearm secondary, and then you've got your armor types, grenades, and then all the customization of your backpack. Expect to experience VoIP and a scoreboard. I know, legacy features in Battlefield 2042, although I still want to be able to see the deaths taken on this scoreboard. You can see your overall squad deaths, but you can't see your individual deaths. Now, the two greatest strengths of World War III are the weapons. So you've got the way they handle, fire, reload, and recoil patterns, and then you've got this badass weapon customization system. Now, in an FPS, if the shooties just aren't popping, then your game is already dead on arrival, and World War III has done this pretty well. If I were to compare it to a Battlefield game, World War III is maybe not on the level of Battlefield 4 with its super smooth and tight weapon handling characteristics, but I would actually place it just slightly ahead of 2042, as it does do a lot right here, especially in the department of full auto bloom and hit detection. Plus, visually, the weapons in World War III just look fucking sweet. The amount of meaningful attachments and visual customizations in this game are the best you will find in the FPS market. Maybe Sandstorm and Tarkov territory here. I'd even place it ahead of those two titles. There just seems to be an endless stream of new customization options with an infinite progression system in place. Now, whether or not this will involve microtransactions or will it be fully unlocked through natural progression, I honestly don't know, but there is just so much here to interact with for your weapons, and I just can't fully express how insane this gun porn is. Movement and character animations are decent enough. You've got sprint, double sprint, crouch sprint, leans to peek around corners, both left and right, and sprint to slide mechanics along with both natural crouch and prone positions, so a lot of movement options. Also pretty sweet is that prone is available on both your belly and your back, so you can quickly flip a 180 while prone on your belly to get a firing line on targets approaching from behind. Parkour and vaulting are somewhat rooted in natural physics, as well as pretty much all the movements, so no tenth of a second reloads here or jumping from second-story balconies all without taking damage. And speaking of damage, time to kill is actually pretty fast. Not as fast as I've seen in Battlefield 3, where you're just fried and deleted in the blink of an eye, but still pretty damn fast TTK in World War III. And friendly fire is always enabled with an option to just punish a teammate that team kills you. Let's talk about sound design, because World War III has some of the most jacked up sound design I have heard in an FPS, like, ever. And what's wild is that I've been diving in and out of World War III for a while now, and before they went through this total overhaul of their visual systems, the game actually had pretty decent audio. The levels were balanced. You didn't have a squad mate just standing right next to you, just hammering down full auto, and all you got was this pew 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 sound through your earphones. Directional audio used to be accurate as well. You could tell where the rounds were coming from, along with footsteps and even vehicles. But ever since the upgraded visual and redesigns of the game, the audio has turned to just a shitstorm of sound effects ringing through your ears. I can't tell you enough how much it disturbs me. And now when I play, I actually attempt to distance myself from any of my team so that I can get a more accurate stream of incoming sound effects. Each and every time I see an update tweet from the crew at WW3, which, by the way, strong props to their comms team as they respond quickly with organic answers that aren't just copy and paste. But anyways, anytime I see them tweeting, I ask them about the reworks of the sound design, and they say they know it is an issue and they are working on it. Along with the brutal and just unbalanced sound design, the game is actually right now pretty content light. There's just two modes, TDM and Spec Ops, which is basically Conquest, and these modes are spread out over just 4 maps. But I remember other maps being in the game prior to this last visual overhaul, like Smolensk, but I don't see it any longer in the rotation. Alright, let's throw down some brutal honesty here. If the crew at the Farm 51 can get their shit together with the sound design, because that is priority number 1, and then if they can add in a bunch more content, like new modes and maps into the rotation, they've really got the rest in a solid state. The guns feel good. They look great. The customization system is second to none. The character movements are there. They need more time and polish to get them looking and feeling a bit more natural, as they visually look stiff, but you know what? They work. In 30 plus hours, I think I've hard crashed maybe twice on PC, and one of those was due to me trying out some different recording settings, so overall the stability is pretty strong. And all of this, and listen to this, is coming from a game that right now is selling for $15 in the Steam store. That's like, what, lunch for 2 at McDonald's? Which, by the way, is reminding me it's almost lunchtime here. But anyway, really, $15 for this, and if you wait until the official launch, I think in March, it's going to be free to play. That current price tag of $15 is just so you can get into the early access and closed test. Even at its current state, with the flaws in sound design and only 2 modes and 4 maps, I still think it's worth the money. And right now, you can even get in and try it out completely free during their open stress test that I mentioned earlier. There are also plans to port over to console once the game fully launches on PC and proves viable in the FPS market, which could do wonders for this game and its overall player counts. So to answer that question, I know you all want an answer to, is this a Battlefield killer? Can World War III actually deliver a visceral combat experience on par with Battlefield? In its present state, no. But it really depends on the comparison and context. If I were to put World War III up against Battlefield 2042, I would say that they are very close in terms of overall performance. 2042 has more content and just overall polish, but I would like to state that I actually enjoy the tight gunplay and combat loops that World War III can deliver over those of Battlefield 2042, which I think in and of itself is a real testament to how far this indie studio has progressed. If we're comparing this game against a BF4 or BF3, then that's a different story. But if World War III could launch next month with the sound design reworked and functioning properly, and if they can double or triple the maps and modes, I would put that World War III up against Battlefield 2042, and then yes, I would stand and defend to the death my decision that this is truly a Battlefield killer. I look forward to reading your feedback. Leave me a comment. What do you think of World War III? Is it something you would play either on PC or once it eventually ports over to console? Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and ring the bell for all my latest upload alerts. If you could take the time to rate and share this video, it is greatly appreciated. You can find and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and are always welcome to join my community Discord server. Links to all my socials in the video description below. Thanks again from the bottom of my heart for all the positive support. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.